Chuck, this is pretty high up here. Yeah, I think I will. I am Steve Sprinkle from Wright Divinity School at Texas Christian University, where I've been teaching for 15 years. An out gay man, proud and happy to be a gay man in Fort Worth, Texas. I was in New York City on Christopher Street this past Sunday afternoon when I received a phone call from a dear friend and graduate of Wright Divinity School telling me that there had been a raid on the Rainbow Lounge here back in my home, Fort Worth, Texas. I had gone to New York City to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Stonewall Rebellion, to be there with 1 million of my sisters and brothers and your sisters and brothers at the place where Pride began. It was a strain on my ability to believe that there had been such an atrocity and an outrage carried out in my city, in my cowtown, in 2009. Somebody here has a sign that says, homophobia is so 1969. Yeah. Say is, it is as contemporary as this moment. Homophobia is alive and well in city government in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah. Heterosexism is alive and well in the churches and institutions that we have given our lives to, along with the rest of the citizens of this great city. We cannot avoid any longer what we have to do, because just as Chuck suggested, and Blake before him, those who struck out at the Rainbow Lounge and at the patrons who were busy simply enjoying their lives and expressing themselves according to the way that they had been created by God, were not the only ones who were transgressed against on that day. Every gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender person was transgressed against on that day. That means you and me. It isn't just somebody else. It isn't just somewhere else. For the past 2.5 years, I've been engaged in research on lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender hate crime murder. I'm working on a book, the story of 25 LGBT persons who have been murdered in this country simply because of who they were. And I'm here to tell you some of the findings that I've already made. First, we are being threatened everywhere. There is no such social demographic, no major metropolitan area, no region of the country, no race or ethnicity that is not subject to the fear and to the terror that goes along with homophobia, heterosexism, and inequality. And first and foremost, it is the responsibility of all lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people and our allies everywhere to stand up and say no more. Yes, yes! No more! No more! We're not going to take it lying down. We're not going to roll over and let anybody tell us how to lead our lives. We have as much right before God to be who we were created to be as anybody did. Yeah! Yeah! And because of that, we have got to stand up for ourselves. If you won't stand up for yourself, then you'll lay down for anything. But you've got to stand up for yourself. Because unless we stop it here, then it will begin to spread further and further in this metroplex. Now, sisters and brothers, I came here with one simple message, and that is that as a united community, gay and straight, black and white, Latino and Asian, able-bodied and disabled, all of us together have a responsibility to stand against this injustice. I get my message from the Judeo-Christian heritage that gave me strength. But every single religious system that I know anything about and that I have taught about for 15 years at TCU teaches that we should be able to live full and free as who we were created to be.
Yeah!
I don't know about you, but I have something that I have to do in this crisis in Fort Worth, Texas. I have to show up and I have to be counted. What about you?
Yeah!
I have to let my voice be heard and I have to show up and let my presence be seen so that inequality will not be able to stand. What about you?
Yeah!
I've got a responsibility toward every human being to be able to stand side by side with them in faith and in love. I don't know about you, but I do. What about you?
Yeah!
I don't know about you, but I'm going to be present at the Tarrant County Courthouse on the 12th. What about you?
Yeah!
I want you to know how deeply I appreciate the courage of the people at the Rainbow Lounge. I want you to know how much I appreciate the strength and ardor of Queer Liver Action.
Yeah!
I want you to know that even though I'm angry tonight, I'm proud about it.
Yeah!
Because this city is now going to know that they have gay people and they're not going to be ignoring us anymore.